Hello and welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. Our continuing coverage of the Summer Stakes racing continues this Saturday, August 10th. Our focus today is on Colonial Downs. There is the Arlington Million this Saturday. My preview video is out already, so give that one a look. Today we focus on the Secretariat going 1 mile on the turf. Just a reminder that Billy Ho Sports is a solo operation, so subscribing to my channel and clicking that like button goes a long way to help spreading the word, my content on YouTube. Also, if you would like to help support the show, check out the description of the video. There's ways to contribute there. As always, I appreciate the support, and none of that is necessary. But thank you very much, and let's get started. First of all, let's talk weather. Tropical Storm Debbie is moving up the East Coast right now. It's going to be moving through Richmond, Virginia, where Colonial Downs is located, somewhere in between Thursday and Friday. So it looks like it's going to be out of the way, and it's going to be a really sunny, nice day on Saturday, it appears. So, but after that immense amount of rain, I can't imagine the turf being completely dried out. So let's give a look. You're looking at the field right now. Let's go over to the past performances and take a look at what we can find. All right, 1 mile on the turf, Secretariat. Also, just FYI, Colonial Downs already released a statement where they are postponing Thursday and Friday's card till Monday and Tuesday of next week. So there's going to be no problems with tearing up the turf or anything like that. So it's going to have all day from the time it stops raining somewhere overnight Friday into early AM Saturday. It's going to have all day in the sunshine to dry out. So they may move earlier races off the turf and try to save it for this one. So anyway, we're going to start with Brilliant Birdie, and that is trained by Sherry DeVoe, ridden by Brian Hernandez, winner of the American Derby, June 29th at Churchill Downs. Very impressive race. Unraced at 2, as you can see down here. Broke his maiden first out as a 3-year-old, and then has not lost a race since, moving up, improving every single race, 87, 88, 94. Some people don't look at the speed figures as much when it comes to the turf, but I still pay some attention to him because you can see progress where he went from 73 to 89 to 99. And then the late pace, he didn't need as much late pace because he burned it all up in here, getting to the lead. It came home easily. Different jockeys didn't matter. Brian Hernandez back on. So definitely a solid contender, obviously ranked 3rd in the Prime Power. Good looking horse. Number 2, Rockin' a Halo, is trained by Tom Amos, Julian Leperoux, 4th in the Audubon, June 1st. Hit the stretch 6 lengths backs and did close past other horses, but couldn't make up any ground on Cugino. Just a length down the stretch there. Middling numbers, not too bad, but I think just a little bit outclassed here. So we'll move on to Bear River, also probably a little bit outclassed. Kent DeSormo, James Graham has won 3 straight races, including a stakes race that went off the turf at Ellis Park, only going 5.5 though. He went 7 his first out way back last November, but hasn't been close to that distance. So I don't know that that's going to be stretching out. Might do some good. Can't really say for sure. Keith DeSormo and James Graham hook up for that one. In a jam on it. Mark Cassie, Antonio Gallardo are the jockey and trainer, and wasn't able to hold on in the Boston Stakes on the soft turf at Colonial. You'll see, we'll mention this, the conditions of the turf. As I mentioned, with all that rain coming, who knows, could be a half a dozen inches, 6 to 8 inches over probably a 36-hour period. So it's really not going to dry out in 12 hours or whatever it's going to have to do so. I imagine so. It's going to be somewhat soft or good or something different other than firm. So that's why I'm kind of going to pay a little more attention to horses that excel on the softer turf. And this one did as well, the inner turf at Colonial. This is the outer turf at Colonial. Outer turf at Colonial is the one of the biggest. It's got like 180 feet but for the rail. Uh, so it is definitely a different race angle. Didn't hold on, finished fourth to our next horse, Fulminio or Fulmino. It's an Italian word, and I'm not exactly sure on the pronunciation, but that's close enough for me. This horse I am interested in. Arn Delacour is the trainer. Victor Carrasco rides 30% right now, 6 wins and 20 starts. So he's hot. 24% trainer, winning the last race, won the last two, both on soft surfaces, inner turf and outer turf. Did win on the inner turf at Colonial, has a win down here on the inner turf at Colonial. So the surface is still probably the same, but obviously the dimensions of the turf are different. But the Pilgrim Grade 2, that's solid. Grade 1 Breeders' Cup juvenile turf as a 2-year-old was just not ready for prime time, evidently, but came off and has had a really good season so far. Tried the dirt at the Sam F. Davis and didn't get it done down here, but back on the turf has had good success and moving up in class, but not a great stakes record for the trainer. So could have a big chance to turn things around for them, the connections and all. Next one up is General Ledger, and that was trained by Safi Joseph Jr. and Jose Ortiz is the rider. Wire to wire in his return to the turf July 19th at Gulfstream Park. Wasn't a real strongest field, was on a fast firm turf. This one did get a pretty big speed figure and ran a hot pace. So that is but that was just an optional claiming in 1X 75K. So moving up in class to here, ran a few on the dirt, but didn't have great success. So trying the turf again seems to be the way to go. But I think this one might be a little bit too much to ask. So we're going to go on to First World War. Brendan Walsh, trainer, Frankie Dettori rides. Frankie Dettori, just love the guy. Just one of the best turf riders out there. It's a shame it took him this long to get over to America and get it, for on a regular basis on his farewell tour. He may, as much success as he's had this year, he may stick around another year. I don't know. But Penn Mile winner. And from what I heard from other podcasts, and I'm no expert on turf, that the turf at there in Pennsylvania is a more of a softer surface, and I could tell by the way they were riding First World War, really grinding it down the stretch in this Penn Mile here to beat Trickery, who was on the lead. And Trickery is your favorite here. And just FYI, First World War is cross entered in the Saratoga Derby along with Trickery and along with Fulmino. So those three horses are cross entered for Saturday, and I'll have a take on that when we get to the selections part. So make sure you stay tuned. Post 8 is Mattingly, Joe Orseno, and Paco Lopez hookup. And pretty good record on some recent stakes adventures, but I'm not really going to have that much interest. I think the speed's there, beaten by weaker. So I don't know that it's a good fit here, but not too awful bad of a horse. Runs toward the front of the pack. So I don't think this situation is going to play well. I feel like it's going to be a big fade down the stretch for that one. And then we'll round out the field with Trickery. Like I said, is cross entered for Saturday. Johnny V is riding. Grand Motion is training. Big winner. This one was the big one. If you remember back to the American Turf, 47-1, big win. Came right back in the Penn Mile and I mean, it was a head bob, as you saw. First World War gets up, and then third by neck but came right back and dominated in the Belmont Derby, chugging it down the stretch and outdueled White Palomino and Legend of Time, two extremely strong turf horses. So this one is probably the one to beat sort of type, but who knows what's going to happen coming up this Saturday. So let's get to the selections and then get out of here. So with the top three horses cross entered at Saratoga, if all in, then it would be tough to go against Trickery. I think I backed him in his last two. Uh, but what I would say is if we're looking at these, as you can see here, you see Totori's on First World War. Johnny V is, I don't know what for Fumino. I think Fumino stays here. He's a miler, so I definitely don't think he's going to Saratoga. First World War, I believe, will stay because I didn't see any mounts from Dottori over here. But Johnny V definitely does have, and if he did go, Gaffleon would ride. So that's interesting enough. You can see they've already got the logistics worked out for that because Gaffleon's got mounts all day. So if they do decide to go to Saratoga, Gaffleon keeps the mount. And Dottori, this is his only mount of the day. So then he's going to be over here most likely. But Trickery, Johnny V, is set to ride down here later on in the day. If you look, bear with me just a second. The 4-star Dave set to ride Major Dude along with several other mounts. So that leads me to believe that they're going to send him to Saratoga as we get back down over here. So Trickery could possibly go to Saratoga. Let's take one real quick look at the past performances before we go. I wanted to see. So yeah, Malin is 3/16. So and that's where he should go. Grade 1 Saratoga, get out there and go against the best of the best. I think that's what it's going to take. So that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, smashing that like button. Comments are always welcome. Questions, much appreciated. And if you'd like to look at the description and maybe make a donation, I would very much appreciate that. It goes a long way toward me upgrading the content and making a better product for you, the viewer. See you soon.